Imagine you're standing in a beautiful cafe in the heart of London. You've been studying English for years. You know the grammar, you've passed the tests, and you feel ready. You walk up to the barista, but suddenly your brain decides to take a vacation. You want to ask for a simple napkin, but the word is gone. You stare at the barista, they stare back at you, and the only thing your brain offers you is the English word for eggshell or fire extinguisher. Why is it that we can remember the most useless words from our textbooks, but we forget the ones we actually need when the pressure is on? The truth is, your brain is not a dusty old library where you can just stack books and expect them to stay there forever. Your brain is more like a very busy nightclub with a very strict bouncer. If a word doesn't look important, if it doesn't have VIP written all over it, the bouncer throws it out into the street. Most of us try to learn English by forcing thousands of random words into our heads like we're trying to win a spelling bee. But that is the slowest, most painful way to build a vocabulary. Think about Mila Kunis. When she moved to the United States as a child, she didn't know a single word of English. She famously described her first year in America as being blind and deaf at age 7. She didn't sit down with a dictionary and a highlighter. Instead, she sat in front of the TV and watched a game show called The Price is Right. She watched people's emotions, their gestures, and the way they shouted specific phrases when they won. She wasn't memorizing words, she was memorizing feelings and situations. Her brain saw that these words were connected to high energy and real-life rewards, so the bouncer let them in immediately. Your brain hates boring. In fact, if you want to forget a word as quickly as possible, just write it down in a long list of 50 other words. Your brain will see that list and think, "This looks like a grocery list for a person I don't even like," and it will delete it while you're sleeping. If you want to remember words effortlessly, you have to stop being a student and start being a detective. You need to look for chunks of language. Native speakers don't think in words, they think in blocks. Instead of learning the word decision, learn the block, "I made a difficult decision." When you learn the whole block, your brain stores it as one piece of information instead of 4. It's like downloading a zip file instead of individual documents. It's faster, easier, and it sounds natural. Here is a funny thing about our brains. We remember things that are weird, emotional, or embarrassing. This is why you can remember that one awkward thing you said 10 years ago, but you can't remember what you studied yesterday. We can use this to our advantage. If you want to remember the word enormous, don't just think of a big building. Think of an enormous purple elephant sitting on your car. The weirder the image, the more likely the bouncer in your brain will let it in. The secret to a great vocabulary isn't a high IQ or a photographic memory. It's about connection. Connect words to images. Connect them to your favorite movies. Connect them to your own life. On this channel, we aren't going to memorize lists. We are going to explore stories and topics that actually matter, so the words stay with you naturally. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the language.